Good morning, friends and family of friends. Happy April and happy April Fool's Day, everyone. Well, Belle and I wish we could say that this global shutdown was the biggest April Fool's Day prank of them all, but no such luck. But while there's good news on every front in relation to this virus and our country's response to it, this is deep red, white, and blue magic happening all around us. We have not had a real national crisis for many decades, and never quite like this. A good portion of us were not alive to see what a unified country looks like. We are mobilized everywhere. Our Navy has 2 massive ships giving relief. We have created something they are calling the air bridge to expedite shipments of supplies across the country and around the world. The Army Corps of Engineers are building all over our country. The National Guard is out there in force. And our nurses, doctors, and caregivers are taking the fight to the virus on the front lines of this battle. Our CDC is more active than ever with public awareness campaigns, as well as tracking possible treatments and vaccines. Many of our teachers are creatively continuing to teach students virtually. And where do we start with the private sector? From our auto manufacturers to the as seen on TV pillow guide, everyone's offering to help. Heck, how about our truck drivers keeping shipments of needed supplies circulating? We have numerous celebrities doing something productive for a change, like giving millions. And the regular man and woman on the street, well, they're helping any way they can too. Additionally, there is a couple promising treatments being utilized now, and time will tell on their effectiveness, but they have already developed a test that gives results within 5 minutes, and this can be completed on a massive scale across our country. Best news of all, the mortality rate on this bug looks like it will continue to drop. We're beating this virus into submission. In fact, something else. Our press has not shared as of March 19th, the UK downgraded the COVID-19 virus as no longer a high consequence infectious disease. Fear sells, and they are in it for ratings. Either way, despite some of the stupid political commercials you see on TV, seeing our country come together like this just reminds me how much I love our country and what it's all about. We suggest flying your flag proudly. Alright, moving on. Today, sunrise will be at 6:38 and sunset will be at 7:21, giving us 12 hours and 43 minutes of glorious daylight today. Presently, it's 32 degrees outside, give or take a little bit depending on where you live. Today, you should expect partly sunny skies in the morning, mostly cloudy skies in the afternoon. Highs will reach the mid-50s. Winds will be light out of the east, under 5 miles per hour. All in all, a pretty decent day. From our family of friends celebrating birthdays today, happy birthday Noah Picard, Jennifer Davis, Matt Brunzel, Gary Stark, Jaden Buckley, Michelle Hatched, Sean and Tammy Kevin, Justin Okuchra, Sharon Strike, and last but certainly not least, Brandon Madden. Our celebrity birthday shout-out starts with an actor best known for playing the role of Liam on the television series 90210. He's also appeared on feature films such as Disaster Movie, Vampires Suck, The Roommate, and Pitch Perfect 3. Matt Latner turns 37 today. Our next celebrity is a popular Canadian film, stage, and television actress who first gained major attention for her role as Nicole in the 2013 romantic comedy The F Word. In 2014, she began playing the lead role as Cameron Howell on the AMC period drama *Halt and Catch Fire*. She was also in the latest Terminator movie, Terminator Dark Fate. Mackenzie Davis turns 33 today. And our last celebrity shout-out is for an actress who passed away 4 years ago. She's probably best known for starring as Kathy Selden in the 1952 classic *Singing in the Rain*. Her other major films include It Started with a Kiss, The Maiden Game, and Kiki's Delivery Service. She also starred as Angie Cromwell in the Disney Halloween TV movie. Debbie Reynolds was born on this day in 1932 and moved on to the big stage at the age of 84 back in 2016. Alright, moving on to our history section. On today's date in 1913, Henry Ford puts the first moving assembly line into service. Ford was a pioneer of the original assembly line concept, but he further advanced his assembly lines by experimenting with a moving assembly line in his Detroit factory. It was for assembling flywheel magnetos. Previously, each magneto was built by a single person, one at a time. The new assembly process was split among 29 employees, each putting together a part of the magneto, which was then conveyed by belt to the next worker. The production time was lowered from 20 minutes to 13 minutes per magneto. Further improvements over the next year lowered the time to 5 minutes. Ford had been inspired by Chicago meat packers, where cows and hogs were slaughtered, dressed, and packed using overhead trolleys that took the meat from worker to worker. It worked so well that Ford began using a moving assembly line for the entire automobile assembly process by the end of the year. On today's date in 1954, the first U.S. Army helicopter battalion forms in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Now look at some of these modern-day badass helicopters. Not bad for 66 years later. Another great reason to be glad to live in the USA. On today's date in 1981, CNN broadcast a videotape of the psychic Tamara Rand predicting the Reagan assassination attempt 2 days earlier. CNN claimed it had been taped 3 months earlier. It was later proved it had actually been taped the day after the shooting. Their stellar track record of honesty is still non-existent to this day. From our comedy corner, what do the movies The Sixth Sense and Titanic have in common? I see dead people. Today is National Child Help, National Day of Hope, National Walking Day, National 1 Cent Day, and obviously it is April Fool's Day. Today's morning motivational is a simple, undeniable truth. Never regret a day in your life. Good days give you happiness and bad days give you experience. It's so true. You do learn so much more from your challenges, so much more than easy wins. In honor of the awesome, fun day that is April Fool's Day, Belle and I were going to give a false origin story about April Fool's Day and then reveal our shenanigans, but we knew you're too clever for that, so we decided to tell you a few stories that did fool a few people in the past. Our first story happened back in 1980 in the UK, when the BBC radio announced that Big Ben was to be updated with a digital readout to bring it into the modern era. Shortly after the report aired, the BBC was inundated with angry listeners protesting the change. 2 years later, in 1982, the Hong Kong South China Morning Post announced that a solution to Hong Kong's water shortage was at hand. Packets of powdered water imported from China would be distributed amongst all the residents of Hong Kong. The claim was a single pint of water added to a packet of powdered water would magically transform into 10 pints of drinkable water. Sure enough, the Hong Kong Morning Post was flooded with calls requesting information on where they could receive their powdered water packets. That one's almost a little cruel. And probably one of my favorite stories took place in 1989 when Richard Branson, the owner of Virgin, lands a hot air balloon that had been specially built to look like a UFO in a field on the outskirts of London. Alarmed residents immediately called the police to warn them of an alien invasion. A local policeman approached the UFO with a truncheon in hand, but as the doors opened and a small silver-suited figure emerged, the policeman ran in the opposite direction. Too funny. Well, as usual, Blinn and I hope that you enjoyed this moment in time with us. Tomorrow we will continue our virtual adventure in Tennessee, and we hope you can join us. Thanks again for your time. Make it an awesome day. You do have the power. Talk to you soon, guys.